So welcome to the Node API team meeting for October 8th, 2021. We'll follow our standard approach of looking at what we have in the milestone 12. So let me get there. Before I'm doing that, does anybody have any announcements they'd like to share? If not, I will share my screen and we can get started. So share screen. Okay, so the first one is the ask for a review of Node serial port. So I think Kevin and Nicola, you've both been looking at that. So I don't know if there's an update.
No, I haven't looked at it recently. I do know that they have still been working on it, though. I do see some updates to their branches that they've been working on. Hopefully I'll have some time this weekend.
Okay, then we can move on to the next one, which is looking on stale issues. I'm just going through there to see what we've got. So we're down to these two. Add the iterator, and I think.
I think that you merged these paragraphs and you clarified here that we need documentation and he can open a new paragraph.
Yeah, I know. I think I accidentally merging something else. So sorry about that, but.
Yeah, but we can close the paragraph and at this point.
Okay, closing and looking. Closing since landed, and we can fix the suggestions and follow up. We'll do that. And here we can edit this one. Edit. Sounds good. Okay, so let's look at the next one. So I know, I guess Jack couldn't make it today, but he did some additional investigation and some experiments. I guess Legendicast, you've taken a look as well.
Yeah, I have read all his questions, and so I just posted my understanding of the problem. So I hope it will help people understand why it's crashing and what triggered the crashing, hopefully.
Okay. So I guess the question is, like, from what you understand, is it something we should try and fix in the REPL, or is it like kind of expected behavior?
It only happens in REPO.
Yeah.
It's when you're typing and the REPO will try to detect if the method is side effect free, so that it can invoke it and show the previews in the REPO. So the problem only occurs in REPO. So we don't have it in script mode or any other mode we run in production.
Right, but I guess it's like, is the same problem, like, could the same problem cause what happened with other native modules, I guess? So it's like not, is it specific at all to what we've done in Node add-on API?
I guess if people are using the API directly, they have a option to, like, I didn't really remember it, but I remember that there is a flag that we can set and tell that this method is already set effect free, or if it's, but I'm not sure why we haven't set it in Node add-on API. But so I didn't have a quite remember about this flag, but it may exist.
Okay, so there may be like a flag we could set in the APIs and core, which would
Yeah,
fix
but
this.
I believe the API will be V8 specific, so it will not be applied to other engines. Like say we don't
Right.
have this type of flag in JavaScript.
Right, but I guess in Jerry's script may not make that check too, or
Yeah, but I don't remember JavaScript has any, like say, disallowing JavaScript execution, but it may be how since any JavaScript function may throw. So typically saying they don't have to handle the JavaScript exceptions properly, so they won't be, like say, leaking resources once the JavaScript exception throws. But when since the problem of this issue is specifically happens in Node.js API, so I believe we have to fix it in Node.js API.
okay, and so is the fix something like properly handling the exception? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, the
Okay.
exception is what we are talking about previously about the throwing primitive, since V8 is throwing primitive, throwing a raw strings when
Right.
the JavaScript execution is disallowed. So
Okay.
that's causing the crash.
Okay, but the fix we have is not fixing it yet, is basically the result.
Yeah, but it will not cause the problem, will not crash the program, you know.
But I think I thought it was that even with, like Jack had a PR for a fix which we're working on, but even with that, it still caused the problem in the REPL.
I'm not sure. I didn't take a deep look into it yet.
Okay.
I believe when the Node.js API do not crash on primitive exceptions, then that is to say V8 will not. I don't know.
Okay, we'll have to look at it again.
Yeah.
I think because I thought my understanding is like that's what Jack tried. So it's like he tried running with the changes, which we thought would fix that. But anyway, sounds like we should we just need to continue to look at that one.
Yeah.
Okay, and we started working on it, so that's good. Keep it on the list. Tracking issue for modules that have been ported. Nothing too new there. I think this was, it was reported last time. If we just look at, say, npm node add-on API. Guess numbers are still going up. I'm not quite sure what's driving. It's gone from like 4 to, it's gone like up almost 1 million or so in the last little while, but
maybe some new add-on.
yeah, maybe there's a new,
Yeah.
I don't know if these are ordered in terms of use of downloads, maybe, are they? Obviously not.
No, it's no, it's the sort is not per downloads.
Okay. Although this view looks much closer.
Yeah.
Like if we look at these, like there's 1 million. Right, so well, I guess this isn't in order either, but it's closer. These ones at the top do seem to be more the higher numbers. So okay, anyway, it's good. Let's go back here. Looking at the matrix of tested methods, Jack's not here this week, so I don't know if there's anything we want to talk about on that front. If not, I don't know if Deepak's back. He was here, but needed to dip out for a few minutes. Okay, sounds like he isn't quite back yet. So let's loop back to that. So we can take a look at issues in the repo. So let's just look at what's new. No, we want to go to the other repo. Sorry, I'm going to get back to where we were so that we. All right. Let's just go here and see. Why did
You are
that...
on PR.
Okay, I thought I. Okay. Electron add-on async worker does not work. Okay, well, that's a new one. It'd be interesting to take a look at. Looks like it's good that, you know, there's some discussion back and forth. That's good. Right, this one is potentially worth looking at. I know it was reported that this const was causing signal to not work. And I wonder if we have concerns removing this const. I guess this is to remove that, this is what it's going to take as a number of things. It seemed like we didn't actually have a test. That actually tested that. Like I looked to see if there was anything that called signal and it didn't seem to.
So is the original error like a compilation
Yes.
error when you try to use signal?
Yeah, like this was the original discussion was. Basically, this was the signal of like, you know, they called signal and then, you know, that called worker.signal and worker.signal like had const and it would complain because in the end it wasn't, you know, this, I think this non-blocking call was not const, and so the compilation chain complained.
Okay. And why can we not make that non-blocking call instead? Const. For
That would be the question of, is it const?
I mean, I'm not too, like, we're not modifying any property unless TSFN and non-blocking call. Let me look at non-blocking call. Because I mean, it looks, well, it's odd that he would think, I don't know, because it seems like you should just be able to make number 3 const.
Yeah, although like it's back to what should be const. Like that non-blocking call definitely has a side effect.
We previously talked about the const semantics on behalf of the Node.js API is that we don't change the structure itself, so it can be marked as const. Although it might be accessed and modified, it may have side effects, but it can be marked as const.
Right. So right. So if we don't change the async worker base call, right? Is that the?
Yeah. We don't change it. But the TSF and number login call is not marked as const. So I believe that's
I'm seeing
problem.
now in it is const non-blocking call. TSFN non-blocking call is const.
Let's take a look. Okay, so jump from 2 to 3. TFSN. Maybe it's async progress workers.
Yeah, that one is non-const.
Right. That's
But the TSFN non-blocking call is const.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. And since number 3, the ASP non-blocking call isn't modifying any of its own members,
Yep.
I believe it should be able to be const, because I mean, on async work progress is one of its own members, right? On when we call the TSFN in non-blocking call, but since non-blocking call is also const for TSFN, we should be able to pass in. No, that's not the right logic. Because TSFN non-blocking call is const, meaning that it's not changing its own members.
Right.
I don't know
Then
how
we
the
can-
constness exists when you pass in to a parameter and your own member instance variable of that on async work progress. That would be the question. I mean, I think we could just try taking his PR,
Yep.
and putting the const on this method instead and trying to see if it compiles. I think that's probably the easiest
Yeah.
way to think about it.
Yeah, that would make sense to me. Like you're passing it in a function to call. So, but you're not calling that necessarily, right?
Right. We are not calling it at this point.
Right.
Right.
So,
It's gonna
yeah.
be on the loop. So we're not modified.
I think that's a good suggestion. Like, so in the PR, do you want to jump in there and suggest that we should make this one const instead?
Yes, not add-on 1081. Okay.
Kevin, the PR is 1086.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry, this one I was just flipping there.
All right. I'll comment now.
Perfect. Okay. This one, I don't think there's anything to discuss. There's been some back and forth on signals. So yeah, nothing there. This one, I don't know, like I answered, but like Kevin, you might have a sanity check in that. I think like async worker, if you queue multiple things, could start multiple threads, depending on the UV thread loop or thread pool.
That I would also have to.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I couldn't remember if that was one of the ones that you delved into. I know you've looked at the thread safe function and stuff, but I looked through the code, and from my take in the code, that was like.
If I understand correctly, is the UV async work will use the UV thread pool. The
Yeah.
UV thread pool by default will create a thread pool max to, I don't remember exactly, but possibly the CPU core core.
I think it's
numbers.
just 4 by default.
So it will use multiple threads, and it's used by, let's say, DNS queries. But
Yep.
yeah. So it's multiple threads, and we can run multiple async workers simultaneously.
But the question that I have then is, can we run a maximum of 4 simultaneously because of the UV thread pool size, or can we have more?
I think it'd be the max of 4.
Okay.
Yeah, max of 4.
They will be queued.
Right, they'll be
So-
queued. You can request as many as you want, but they would only be run in parallel up to whatever number of three
Yeah.
threads.
So if I were to call create thread safe function 5 times, what happens on the 5th time?
It would just be queued and run once the other, one of the other 4 is finished.
It's not the Thursday function, if I
No,
get it
no.
correctly.
Sorry, yeah, no, that's a different one. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
async worker.
Thursday function didn't use any.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thread safe function, you, the programmer, are
Yep.
responsible for your own threads. For
Yep.
async progress, you use UV. Okay, yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, instead in async worker, we use the libuv thread model,
Right.
and it's yeah, we have this limitation, and
Right.
yeah, all the code, all the work that we create in the execute method will be queued if you run more than three tasks, no?
Right.
This is what I know.
Yeah, that sounds
And maybe we could document this on the documentation for async worker. Do you
right.
agree?
I even think I
Yeah,
can't remember off the top of my head, but I vaguely remember there was an issue created in our repo about somebody asking questions about this too. Because he ran into an issue where he was trying to create more than 4, and it was
It's I think that yeah, it's node RFC. If I will remember, it's a native add-on from SAP, or even say our port. I don't remember, but yeah, if you create more than 4 tasks, yeah, you will be queued, and you need to wait that other tasks will finish. And in this case, if you try to connect, to a CR port, and you want more than 4 connection, yeah, you need to wait for the release of the previous one of the previous connection. So this was the discussion that I remember.
okay. Yeah.
okay. So I'm just going to comment in that, yeah, we discussed it, and it is as I described in terms of, I think they were trying to get it to run just one and in a queue. I do agree that we should look at the docs and maybe, explain a little bit more how it works in the interaction with that UV thread pool.
Yeah, okay.
So I might leave it open for that if we think about the what we want to do on the doc front. Okay, this one, just some back and forth. Sorry, I'm just. I don't think I see anything else then there. So let's take a look in Node. And tags, can I, no, not tags. We want to label. And then label, we want node, oops, node. Okay, so this is a new doc one. Oh, I see Legion de Cassie already took a look at it. So that's good. So, okay, let's nothing really to discuss. Oops. But while I'm here. Okay. Oh, okay. This one was quite a while back. I don't think there's anything too. Yeah, so I think it doesn't look like there's any recent stuff to discuss on that front.
I passed on the chat the issue that yeah we discussed.
Right,
because,
okay.
yeah, the reporter asked us about the trade-off between libuv and worker threads because yeah they have the limit for the connection
Yeah.
count limited to 4 because of the model thread of libuv. So yeah, that was on node dash RFC.
Right, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so I don't know, Deepak, if you made it back.
Hey, yes, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. Then unless there's any other issues that people think we should discuss, we could loop back to the work you've been doing on the test suite.
Yeah.
If you have something you want to share, that just
Actually, I haven't. Past 2 weeks, I had a medical problem, so I couldn't catch up. But I saw a lot of comments from Gabriel. I can address that comments. I'll make sure the next meeting I'll have everything ready.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, anything else we should talk about this week? If not, thanks for everybody's time, and we'll see everybody in GitHub and next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.
Yep, bye.
Bye.